Hey there, good morning, happy Wednesday. So waking up, things are going to be feeling pretty similar to yesterday. It's still muggy, still going to be feeling that weighted blanket feel with that air. That's all that moisture in our atmosphere, but I do have some good news. We do have a small bit of a change coming in the forecast later on this afternoon by way of slightly cooler, a little bit near average temperatures for our afternoon highs. I'll have details on that coming up in the next few minutes. Right now, let's go and take a look at our current conditions in your neighborhood. Here in Corpus Christi, waking up to a temperature of 80 degrees, 81 over in Port Aransas, 80 in Rockport, 83 in Kingsville, and 81 degrees over in the Bluff. A little bit cooler over in Hebbronville, sitting at 77 degrees. We're still seeing our winds directions coming in a bit of a northerly fashion. That's also due towards that now retreating frontal boundary that's going to give us a slight cool down our temperatures and then offering a small bit of dry air that's not really going to be detectable in terms of where our dew point values are still currently sitting towards the upper 70s, just noting that oppressive moisture and humidity that's still at play in our forecast. Looking at our hour by hour forecast, starting out with mostly cloudy conditions this morning that will gradually begin to break apart later on this morning, offering some small pockets of sunshine. We'll also see our temperatures start to bump up little by little, only approaching the mid 80s and upper 80s a little bit around lunchtime. We'll also see our wind direction slowly start to switch back to an easterly, then eventually a southeasterly direction by tonight. So that means that afternoon heat will be back in the forecast with more extreme, more oppressive conditions on deck for us ahead for tomorrow and your Thursday. But for today, we'll still be looking at, again, near average high temperatures for this afternoon, only approaching the low upper 80s for our afternoon high temperature, nearby 88 to 89 degrees. So again, near average high temperatures for us that we should be seeing for this time of the year in May, because our average high temperature for this time of year is around 87 degrees. So we're thankfully back to that, at least for our actual air temperatures for this afternoon, but it's not going to quite feel like it. Again, with those dew point values still reaching towards the upper 70s in that oppressive zone, that still means our feel like temperatures will be reaching well above where our actual temperatures will be standing. So we'll still be seeing our feel like temperatures reaching nearby the triple digits into the upper 90s by 4 o'clock this afternoon, then decreasing back down towards the 80s as we start to approach the nighttime hours. Heat risk will still pose to be an issue for us in the forecast because of where I feel like temperatures will continue to range between later on this afternoon. So moderate heat risk is still going to be in the area, so you still want to make sure you're practicing heat safety to keep yourself safe later on this afternoon. Now, also attribute towards that retreating frontal boundary, we could see a couple spotty showers here and there, not super likely, stray in nature for us throughout parts of this afternoon and maybe a little bit during the late evening hours. But then we do have a bit of a bigger change coming in the forecast after we look ahead towards this upcoming Memorial Day holiday on Monday, with more wet weather coming back to the forecast and cooler temperatures.